Ooh boy, 2020.
Oh boy.
All right, welcome back to the UCGC podcast. I'm DJ. I'm here with.
Chad.
And Peter.
Yep, we're on a Discord call because we're not anywhere relatively close to each other at all during our break. So this is what happens.
Yeah, Discord, awesome. I love Discord. Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, Discord is good.
Yeah.
Yo, guys, let's shoot some shit. Before we talk about some of the main topics, how are we doing? How are we doing, guys?
Yeah, I was going to ask you how your break was so far. Like, we've been, like, pretty much out for, like, a week and a half so far.
Yeah, I mean, like, break's been good. I've done absolutely nothing, so that's exactly how I wanted it to be.
That's fair. I've been working a little bit. I've been editing a little bit of Let's Plays, doing delivery and stuff, so.
Yeah, I got you.
I've been at the movie theaters. I've been working on the new script for a video coming out not this Friday, but next Friday, right? Because the podcast comes out.
Yeah, this one Pokemon one, comes out in December.
Yeah. So I'm working on podcast that comes out on the first week of January. The first video I work on. So that should already be out by the time you hear this.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Nice.
Yeah, so I think right before break, I went with Akari to see Knives Out, which is a really good movie. Directed by Ryan.
Knives Out was so.
It was really good. It was well written for like a movie. Like Ryan Johnson does a good amount of like decent writing and directing if it's these standalone things. But if you hand him like this big overarching story, like I feel like that's where it kind of falls through.
So he's better at like one shots.
No, I think it's more like he's a director that likes to change tropes, right? It's like he likes to deviate from the norm.
He wants to do his own thing, and like the way like the Star Wars was kind of created is like you can't do that. You have to make sure these characters follow the proper roles.
You could do it. You could do it because the Mandalorian is a good exception to the rule. It's you don't do it in the middle of a franchise. You don't do it like in the middle.
The Mandalorian is as a standalone works fine.
Trilogy.
Baby Yoda is the best thing that's ever happened in Star Wars media. Change my mind.
I'm going to blow everybody's mind. Popular opinion, I think Baby Yoda ruins the Mandalorian, but that's just me.
I don't see
I mean, like, I haven't actually seen The Mandalorian. All I've seen is the Baby Yoda meme, and like my friends just got a cat and they named it Baby Yoda. So like,
that's great. I'm sorry for that cat.
F in chat for cat. But like overall, like I think The Mandalorian works because it's a different take on. Because Star Wars is supposed to be similar to a samurai movie, rather than The Mandalorian is supposed to be a take on a western.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's completely different roles you have to fulfill with this kind of stuff too.
Well, the other thing is that The Mandalorian takes place in between like the gaps between the actual movies. Like it's not happening at the same time as like the first or the second movie. It's in between, so it's like I don't want to call it filler arc, but it's like filler that's actually good.
It's like certain Dragon Ball filler where it's like driving the cars, that kind of stuff. But other than that, speaking of Star Wars, Lego Star Wars, they're coming out with a new one.
Oh my god.
Did you see that?
I have not seen that.
It's actually pretty interesting. They are actually recreating everything from scratch. Like all the models and everything look really good.
So they're not just recycling.
No, I don't think they're recycling anything. I think they're building it all from scratch, especially like with the older versions. Because I think the last one that came out was just a standalone, was like the complete edition or whatever, and that had like a part of the Clone Wars inside of it. But like, this is just all like the 9 standalone movies too, so it's like it looks really good.
So wait, have you guys seen The Witcher on Netflix?
I have.
Yeah, I've watched it.
It's okay. It's okay. I'll say that. Like,
it's The Mandalorian, except like a bit awkward.
Yeah, it's Henry Cavill looks great as Geralt though. Like I'll say that.
He throws me off. Everyone's doing a really like the acting is really good. The story is just kind of like awkward because of the way they structured the show.
Yeah, because like it's like a bunch of like there's flashbacks in between certain things too, so it's like, oh, if you don't know what this is, you're not gonna get what this is. So it's like kind of you do have to watch in like a certain order to understand what's going on. But I think that's like a post that tells you, oh, that's from that part, that's from that part, and like you kind of build it up over the course of a couple episodes.
The thing is, I can't look at Henry Cavill without thinking about like his Justice League CGI'd out mustache fiasco. Like I just can't see past that. I really can't. And like it sucks because like I want to enjoy the show. I haven't actually gotten into it yet, but like I just look at Henry Cavill and I think CGI mustache.
Yeah. You just think Superman.
No, get rid of that. Get rid of that out of your mind.
He is PC Master Race.
Yeah, no. Did you see the interview? It's like, oh, PC,
yeah. PC Master Race, yeah.
Which is really interesting.
He gets asked. Yeah, he literally gets asked Xbox or
PS4.
Just like, yeah, or PS4 or whatever, and he immediately says, like, PC.
Henry Cavill said that? Yo, that's
my
guy.
You didn't see that video?
That's my guy.
No, he's a great guy. It's just like, I can't get past it.
Honestly,
if you have a mild interest in the Witcher franchise, like if you've played any of the games, watch it. Like it's fun. It's a fun show. Yeah. If you've never played any of the Witchers, then like I try it out. Maybe the first episode. If it doesn't really win in the first episode, then call it quits.
Yeah, because I feel like you kind of have to play the game first in order to understand what would be going on with the series.
Well, I mean,
it was originally based on a book, right?
This is like pre-Witcher, though. No.
This is more based on the books than the actual game.
Yeah.
But it does take. It's just coming up. I was reading some of the wiki while also watching the show. Mm-hmm. Apparently, the Netflix show takes place before the book.
Okay, so it's sort of like this little prequel.
So this is a prequel.
Yeah, most of the stuff you see in the show takes place before the books. The main storyline, which is with Ciri, that's in the present time. A lot of it's more kind of backstory stuff to understand Geralt,
so it's like Geralt,
to understand Yennefer, who, it's just to understand the main trio characters, which is Yennefer.
Honestly, I think
Geralt,
if they do a second season, which they most likely will, it'll be a lot better, just because you already know these characters, and that's what I think the hard part about it is just to introduce people to brand new characters without giving them a proper backstory to them.
Well, you could do that. I mean, like I said, probably the best comparison to The Witcher right now is The Mandalorian, because they're kind of like similar, where roguish, bounty hunter type characters and having to save like these children type characters, but you don't really get that in the Witcher, but you get that a lot in the Mandalorian.
Well, they explain a lot of the roles already. Just like for the first guy, Quill, the alien, he basically served the Empire building machines for them, because that's what his race does. They're very great engineers. And they just say that, and like I done my time. You are my guest, and that is what my duty is. And for the shock trooper, she explains like, oh yeah, we after the Empire fell, we're just going after warlords and that kind of stuff. And that just gives you enough backstory to understand like, okay, what these characters did beforehand and like what they're doing now. But like with something with The Witcher,
where it's like
you need to have that
the entire season is the entire season is the backstory,
exactly,
which I think is kind of defeating. Like, it's a bit defeating a little bit, because I like that. I like that in The Mandalorian, where it's like little bits and pieces of what they've done, not like full-length episodes of, here is person A, let's learn everything about them in like 2 episodes or something, where it's like a one-off line, where it's like, oh yeah, I was a shock trooper. I was like, oh, that's awesome. And then you do your own research about what a shock trooper is. You kind of get your own...
Well, yeah, because like,
ideas inside.
I like that better because I want to learn things naturally, not just have it all slapped in my face.
Yeah.
Like a freaking wet fish.
Yeah. So.
Just like, all right.
Well,
so.
Yeah.
Now that we're done with the Mandalorian and Witcher podcast.
Yeah. I mean, it's topical. It's topical. Like, The Witcher's a video game, so we can't technically talk about it. But on to other notes, we started the Star Wars Let's Play that came out probably in December. And before break, Dylan actually finished the game, and I will say the writing and the direction of the game was pretty funny and just enjoyable overall. I'll say this: as like a since the game is technically canon, it is a very nice way to like introduce new characters, kind of like so the Star Wars Rebels, that kind of stuff. Like have a standalone thing, you already sort of know what's going on, but to have this complete different adventure that's part of the same universe as the movies.
Okay, I just don't pin like Star Wars and funny together like at all. I don't know why. That's like an incredibly foreign concept to me.
Yeah, well,
for me, it's a foreign concept because it's been a while since I've said, "Wow, I'm having fun doing stuff with Star Wars."
I feel like the people who grew up with Star Wars do a decent job of trying to recreate that feeling. But I think the problem is that I don't really like having every character be its own comic relief. That's my problem. But like, there's pretty some serious overtones in the thing, but a lot of plot twists and turns that like are generally applicable and like enjoyable to like see. But they're really predictable in a certain way where it's like, oh, I saw that coming a mile away and I knew it for a fact. I predicted the end of the game before we knew who we really knew who our friend was, the ship pilot, Grease, and the black lady, I forgot her name was. But like, it's very predictable, but it's enjoyable. I'm not sure if it's that a good thing or a bad thing, but I just kind of like, I'm playing a video game, I want to enjoy the story. If it's predictable, that's okay. And just overall, I just wanted to like sit down and explore a universe, you know?
I mean, like, I don't think there's anything wrong with a game or like any storyline being predictable, because like, if it's just like throwing you curveballs for no reason, then it's just like boring. I don't know, but like, it sounds good. I haven't played it personally, so like, I really can't say much. But
yeah, overall, it's like Sekiro, Star Wars. That's pretty much it.
Because like the only thing I know is that you get like this cool little robot that attaches like to
BD1?
your back. Yeah, the little like Velociraptor robot or whatever it is.
BD1's actually pretty cool overall.
Worse or better than R2-D2?
I would say better than R2-D2 because he gives you stim packs, which is drugs, basically. So
yeah. So what I just heard is you're both fake Star Wars fans. Nothing's better than R2-D2.
I never implied
like
that I was a real Star Wars fan. I think I've seen at least one movie, maybe.
It's like R2's the real OG, but like Dio though. And
dude,
BD1.
I'm actually kind of surprised they named a fucking robot Dio. I heard that in the theater, and I was like, I turned to my brother, and I was like, the robot's named Dio!
Okay, all right. First of all, that news broke out way before the movie the trailer came out. And me and my friend were just riffing on each other, just going, Kono Dio da!
Oh my god.
Dude, I did not give a shit about this Star Wars movie. So when I heard it during the movie, I was like, that is hilarious.
Yeah.
Have we all seen it? Have we all seen Star Wars?
I saw Star Wars. I was
not seen it, but I'm not overly invested enough in it to care about spoilers.
Okay, so that's fine. We can talk about Star Wars spoilers anyway.
We'll talk about Star Wars at the end. Let's talk about.
Well, this thing's gonna come out inside January, so basically we can. So it's fine. Yeah. So overall, yeah, exactly. I saw it inside the Dolby Theater too, which is like $13 to $15. So
is that
I saw it for free because
you still work at a theater. That's right.
Oh,
I work at a movie theater, so I saw it for free in the Dolby Theater as well.
Yeah. I mean, that's not that much work though.
Yeah, you go first, Davis. What did you think about it?
I would say that overall it was an okay movie. Like, generally speaking, like, it's an okay ending, but I just didn't really feel satisfied with a lot of the plot twists and turns, and I kind of feel like Palpatine ruined the movie a little bit.
Well, I mean, like,
okay,
having too many twists and turns, like I said earlier, it just gets like repetitive and boring at some point.
Yeah, just like, okay, you're taking me on a roller coaster right now, but where is this really going?
Like, if they did include Palpatine, like, obviously they did, like, including Palpatine, I feel like was just hey, here's this character that everybody loved. You'll love this movie now. Like, it's that type of thing.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
Yeah, I guess. It's kind of like you have to like ride on the bad guy for like the last one, I guess, to tie it all together. But like, it could have been like, oh, he's a force projection, or like he's some sort of he's straight up dead, but like he's influencing someone else to do it. Like someone,
Yeah, I got you.
like I just didn't feel like he didn't really deserve to come back. Like they don't explain how he comes back either. All we know, he's just like
they do.
Oh, they do.
He's a. So okay.
You say Force Ghost right now? I swear.
No. It's like he has like a bunch of clones.
Emperor Palpatine died, right? But that wasn't Emperor Palpatine. That was a clone.
Well, that's what I'm saying. God, they didn't really explain that properly.
Well, what's in the Star Wars lore? Emperor Palpatine has a bunch of orders. Like Order 66 is to exterminate all the Jedi.
Yeah.
Like all these different orders. And one of those orders that is canon is he clones himself.
Yeah, basically, yeah, he has a bunch of clones himself. They explained it with Snoke really well. Like, I was Snoke. That was like, oh my god, like what? And like you see like a bunch of Snoke clones inside a cloning vat. Like that makes sense, but you never see it with.
That made me laugh like really fucking hard. It looks so
Palpatine
stupid.
Was
it looks so stupid, but like, okay, I get it. You clone him to influence them, but like, you have to understand that if you don't explain like how you've done it, like, oh, like how did Palpatine like beforehand clone himself to do all this stuff? Like,
no. Look over here. There's a lightsaber fight. Don't worry about what you're saying. There's lightsaber fights. Ooh, space battle. Don't worry about these questions. That was the movie. The movie was just like, oh, I have a question, but I can't get it answered because now we're in a chase scene.
Yeah.
Oh, what had happened at the end of this chase scene? I don't know because here's another fight. Let's go into this shit.
I'm gonna sound like an absolute heathen right now, but I always felt like the clones in the Star Wars series and as a whole were always just a cop out.
I don't know. I felt that the clones gave clones as in like movie clones or clones as in the Clone War clones, because those are completely different characters.
No, the Clone War clones, like I just mean like using clones as justification for like anything, or like as explanation, like as explanation for anything, because it's just like, oh, he's a clone, that's why.
So this guy hates just Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah.
Okay, I never played it, so don't at me. I feel like there's a right way to do it and a wrong way to do it. I think Star Wars: The Clone Wars, the series, does clones great. I think like when freaking Star Wars uses clones as a reason for anything else is just stupid.
Yeah, it's kind of like justified. It's like, oh yeah, why couldn't they mass amount of soldiers and
if Palpatine
train
can clone
them
himself, why doesn't he just clone like a fucking million of him and have his clones just take over the galaxy? Like, why?
Well, he has to follow by the Sith's rule of twos. You know.
Oh my god, the Sith.
Like, the rule of twos, Chad. Do you know what the rule of twos are?
You're telling me Emperor I don't know what it is, but are you telling me Emperor Palpatine isn't corrupt enough to ignore the rule?
Well, basically the rule started with his master because the Sith would infight with each other to fight for power because that's what they're all about. So by creating the rule of twos, you have just the master Sith and the apprentice. And basically in that movie, he does say, like, oh, all the Sith flow within me, and once you strike me down, you will inherit my power, as well as all the entire Sith. Which I think is okay. That's fine. But they don't explain the rule of twos in the original, inside the prequels or the original trilogy, which is really hard to understand if you don't actually look up some of this lore.
No, yeah, why wouldn't they, like... Well, I get that, like, there's lore that you gotta look up, but, like, that's a key factor. Why wouldn't they include that to begin with? And, like, literally, just give me 2 minutes of that explanation in the movies, and then I'll be happy. But, like, the fact that I'm just now hearing
this movie is rushed. Dude, they've tried to fit 2 different movies into one movie.
Honestly,
They tried to make up the mistakes of The Last Jedi, which I don't think there are mistakes. I just think
they're just poor creative decisions.
Yeah. They
Like,
didn't have a
is it
plan.
ever explained why Rey is just quote unquote good with the Force?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's a Palpatine.
She's
dude.
Palpatine. She's Palpatine's granddaughter.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
She's a Palpatine.
You're a Palpatine.
She's a Palpatine.
Yes.
Oh my
Let the
god.
hate flow through you.
Okay.
Okay.
Then
All right.
what's
All
it
right.
doing? Oh my god.
All right. At the end of the movie, basically, you know how Kylo and Rey are connected with the Force.
Yes, I know that part.
So Rey has the same ability as Baby Yoda. She's that powerful and in tune that she can heal wounds, which is kind of stupid. Because like if you haven't we haven't seen this happen before. With
so it's just like
telling something out of the blue. It's like, oh, is that what the Force could do now? But like we only hear about it because like, have you ever heard of the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise, Chad?
Oh god, yes, I've heard that.
So you've heard about this man. So basically, it's if you don't understand the premise of like, oh, midichlorians, how do they function, and like to influence that. And if you go in like, without watching the prequels, you won't understand a thing. But like, it's a cool callback, I would say, to like have like, oh, it's influencing the midichlorians to make of the Force to like heal them faster, which is really nice. Because inside the actual like Jedi Council and Jedi organization, people who weren't really fit to fight were like the librarians who were managed the archives. They were Jedi who went out on surveys and Jedi who were part of the like medical section of the whole order. So like you had these like different roles.
So it was there. It was just, okay. So at least it was there, at least in concept.
In concept, it's there, but
that's the thing. Like how many people?
They don't say a lot.
Yeah, exactly. And like, I don't know. Like, I personally have never been a Star Wars guy from the beginning. Like, I never got really exposed to it when I was younger, so obviously I don't have like the nostalgia factor going for me. But also, like, looking back at it now, they didn't like start the movies in chronological order. Isn't the first movie that technically came out like
it's episode 4? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But then George Lucas went back and to decide like, oh, I want to create all the story and stuff because it's a big money maker. Like overall, honestly, like since the first movie, the opening weekend has been going up since Revenge of the Sith. The lowest one was The Last Jedi, and I believe this one, The Rise of Skywalker, were the lowest opening weekends for like the whole out of all the entire movies.
Yeah, but again, it's Star Wars, so it's still made more than enough money.
Yes, but then it also shows that if Disney could just do a TV show, why bother doing a movie, though? Or,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But, like, obviously, like, from what I've heard, everybody loves the TV show better than the actual movie.
Yeah, and, like...
So, like, then why wouldn't they just shift it over?
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Like,
yeah.
Obviously, they're going to do the Ewan McGregor series of Obi-Wan, which probably will most likely have him, like... from the start of probably show a little bit of the episode 3 and kind of like have him settle down, solve a couple problems, and then I would say maybe put into focus the old Obi-Wan versus Darth Maul, because at the end of Rebel, like, or at a certain point in Rebels, Darth Maul comes back and he tries to change Ezra to inside dark side of the Force, but that doesn't work out, so he kind of tracks down Obi-Wan and tries to kill him, but in the end, he fails to do so, and he says, like, oh, is he the chosen one? And he's like, and he's talking about Luke in this context.
Yeah.
And Obi-Wan's like, yes, he is. And like, Darth Maul's like, he will avenge us, because, like, a bunch of times, like, the Jedi and the Sith were just pawns inside this massive game designed by Palpatine, you know?
Yeah, I gotcha.
So
that's
all right.
That's my take.
Now that our Star Wars talk is over, the Star Wars podcast is over. Let's talk about our most anticipated. Or let's first start off with what was our favorite game of the decade. What did you guys like about the 2010 game?
2010 game?
2010?
Yeah, like the 2010s. I mean, like, what was your favorite game?
So,
can we narrow it down by like over? I don't know.
I mean, like I don't know like games by release year exactly.
Because like, dude, a decade's like half our lifespan.
I can name like a couple.
I can name one off the top of my head immediately.
Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. Okay. Is a great game. The Witcher.
All right.
That's a good. The Witcher 3, I should say.
Okay, Wild Hunt.
We have Metal Gear Solid 5.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Those are my top picks. They're all very similar in terms of being open world, action RPG kind of style games. They were fun. There's GTA 5. Which is probably the best-selling game of the generation. I believe Minecraft is technically part of this.
I thought it came out in 2008,
No.
I'm Googling this now.
Yeah, I feel like we need a fact.
2009. 2009.
Ooh. I mean, like, we can give it a pass. I feel like if it's 2009, I would give it a pass.
Yeah, I'd say Minecraft is up there.
It's within it. Like, was it at like the end of 2009 or like the middle?
I'd say Pokemon Black was pretty good.
Oh, Pokemon Black and White.
Yeah, Black and White were pretty good, and then I'd say
Monster Hunter World and
Monster Hunter World was pretty good. I'd say those three are probably mine.
Like, I haven't. Like, besides Super Smash Bros., like, I haven't really been invested in, like, a full-on console game or just, like, a game with, like, an actual storyline in a long time. But then when I played Monster Hunter World, like, I was just like, oh, hey, this is a lot of fun. I actually really love this. So, like, for me, Monster Hunter World was, like, a return to, like, my roots because my first actual console was a PlayStation 2. And, like, I picked up a PlayStation 4. At some point during this decade, I think it was like 2-3 years ago, and I got Monster Hunter World with it, and I was just like, "Oh shit, this is a lot of fun." I actually really love this. So it, like, I have a little bit of bias.
But like for a new Monster Hunter player though, like I understand why World's your favorite, but like Generation X though, or Double X in Japan, like that was probably the biggest one, like overall, just because like you had four different hub areas. And also you had like 6 to 8 maps overall, and like despite loading screens, like there were all like a nice wide array of monsters you could just go and farm. It was just a lot. I think like for my problem with World is that it looks beautiful, but like there's not much substance to it. You know, there's.
What do you mean not much substance?
Because like all the substance there, it's kind of like, okay, here's a new monster and event, but like overall, those are very seasonal things too. But like,
have you seen the more recent stuff?
Yeah, with the Rajang and stuff. But like that stuff was already.
No. Safijiva or.
Well, Safijiva, yeah. But like, if you played the other games, you would know like there's a lot other tougher monsters out there. Because when you look at it in hindsight, the Nintendo games, the versions of it were pretty baller in the sense that you could actually just like kind of go out and just like hunt whatever and then come back, and then you would have more. My problem with really just World is just like the lack of substance sometimes, because a lot of the quests weren't really kind of fleshed out, I think.
Well, I mean, like what were quests like in previous generations? Because like Monster Hunter, you hunt monsters, like that's the whole point of the game. Like
I feel like they're just like more in tune with past characters, you know, because like this is just World's in a fresh new start, and just like being with Generation X and stuff, just like because like a bunch of returning characters come back and like you do quests for them and you could get them as like
okay, so they're like
it could be like your
with actual names in the
there's characters with actual names. Like, even though like it's like you see the caravan leader, but they're very personalized and like stylized, you know.
Okay.
Like there's a lot
of like that makes more sense now. Like if there's actually like a consistent storyline throughout the generations.
They just don't feel like general NPCs, you know. They feel like actual characters. Yeah, they have personalities. Like if you look at any of the cutscenes for like
that makes sense, but like again, I haven't played those, so like
if you look at any cutscenes for like Generation 4 Ultimate or just like overall, like you can see like they're actual like friends. They like have fun together. Because like one of the main things, like the chef and the Wyverian trader inside 4 Ultimate was like during one cutscene there before you packed up to lead to the next area, they were gambling, playing like dice or something like that, and like they looked like they were actual friends, you know.
Wait, was it not like a cat that was a chef?
No, the cat's a chef. He's a Chinese chef.
Okay.
He's got a big wok for like a backpack and stuff.
Because I was about to say, if the previous generations didn't have cats as the chefs, then that's an immediate minus 5 points on my end.
It started with Gen 4. Gen 4 had the Chinese cat chef, and then Gen X and Monster Hunter Cross, they both had a French style, like a fondue style eatery.
Baguette.
Yeah.
So Chad, your favorite game of the decade was Monster Hunter World.
Absolutely. 10 out of 10. Loved it.
Davis, what was yours? What was your favorite game?
I already said mine. I said Monster Hunter Generation X.
XX.
Yeah, XX, whatever it's called.
Monster Hunter XXX Tentacion.
Stop. Isn't he's dead already? Stop.
Rest in peace. Press
F
F.
in chat.
F
Yeah, Monster Hunter, Pokemon Black and White, and I'm gonna throw a mobile game in there. I'll throw in Fate Grand Order because I just have a lot of fun with that.
Really? You're gonna throw a mobile game in there?
Gacha games, dude.
Hey, no disrespect to the mobile game.
No. Yeah, no disrespect. I'm just saying that's a bold strategy. Like explanation, please.
Well, I don't know. It's just kind of like fun to, because like you don't see a mobile game this often that has like this such a breadth of depth of story.
Okay.
Like there's one big goal to defeat the big bad, but like you don't. But what really speaks to me is kind of like you have to go through 7 different worlds basically, and like you have to fight for the Holy Grail and then come back victorious. But like the characters you meet along the way are very nice and like just kind of like reflections of humanity in general, you know?
Okay. No, like that makes sense. Like no disrespect at all. Like if it's a good game, then it's a good game. I will absolutely give it the credit that it's due. It's just like there's definitely this idea of like, you know, mobile, like quote unquote mobile games where it's just like you pay to win or like it's just a money funnel or whatever.
Oh, like, it's sort of like that in a sense. It was like, if you pay to roll and you get a strong unit, okay, cool, but you still have to do the grinding part, and that's what I think it does a nice balance. Like,
it's not immediate. Is it a game that you think you could play without paying any money?
Oh yes, most definitely. You can.
Okay.
It's free to play all the way. It's just you just need to do a little bit extra grinding, which is not that hard because like you do the point I'm at is like I have 130 like basically 130 points like channel like mana points or whatever it's called, and then that's worth like 40 points worth of farming every day. So I could do farming 3 times a day basically, and then grind up, and then kind of just like because like I don't need to like be on my phone constantly. So it's just like, okay, if I have the time, I'll just go and log in and then do that. Yeah. Other than that, like the other games I actually do play on my phone is the Bang Dream, these all music rhythm games, and Duel Links. But Duel Links I play on PC because the connection's a lot better. So I wouldn't really consider that mobile. I play a lot of like casual like Japanese like games, like the rhythm games and that kind of stuff.
Full disclosure, I think I've played a rhythm game once, and I was absolute garbage at it.
Yeah, you need to have some music background, really, because like it is really heavy on knowing what beat you're trying to follow.
Of which I have 0.
Yeah, because it's easier for Bang Dream because like it's either following the guitar, vocals, or the drums. Yeah. And it's a lot easier to take track of. But like if it's all singing, like in like the Love Live School Idol Festival, that's majority focused on the vocals, which is hard because you have multiple people singing.
Yep. I mean, like that makes sense. It's just like, again, I've rarely encountered a mobile game that I actually enjoy that doesn't basically require you to dump a crap ton of money in it to actually play and get good at it.
Yeah.
But like again, that's just like my like opinion because I've never been like I need all the DLC type of person. I need all of the like extra add-ons and stuff.
Yeah, you're not the kind of person who needs all those loot boxes.
Well, yeah, like that being said, like did I buy Iceborne? Yeah. Do I have a bunch of skins in League of Legends that I really don't need? Yes. But like that's not like integral to the game itself where it's just like it's not those aren't like pay to win types of games. It's just, hey, here's some extra stuff that you can use
because you got good.
You can play in. Yeah, like some extra stuff that you can play in, like, or extra stuff to make your game like a little more like personal to you. And it doesn't actually affect whether or not you're going to be good at the game or not. Like, that's really my take on it, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to have to pay money to be good.
You already paid the money to pay the
like
$50, $60 out already, so you don't want to pay again.
Yeah.
All right. What about your guys' favorite games from this year?
I don't know. Like, I know yours should be like Death Stranding, and she's like, okay, fine.
Mine is Death Stranding.
Yeah,
what do you mean? Okay, fine. Death Stranding was a very good game.
It's like a visual novel. You're there for the story. You're not there for like stellar gameplay, right?
I mean, like, not to saturate this entire podcast with Monster Hunter, but like Monster Hunter World expansion was great.
Yeah, it's like,
or the Iceborne expansion was amazing. It was everything I wanted it to be. So besides the fact that it was good, it's just like, besides the fact that some of the weapons are still bits on sticks, which is really my only genuine complaint with the game. Like,
because they have to make it average for the Western audience. What don't you understand about that, Chad?
No, like,
if you play any other games, they're anime as hell. I guarantee you.
Okay, look, I'm not saying you're wrong. I just don't like that you're right.
Anime will be the saving grace of entertainment.
I really like Death Stranding. I thought the story was very fun. The gameplay I can understand if people don't like it. It's kind of boring at points, but like when I was playing it, I was kind of like very exhausted and
the rate you were playing at is trying to get a video out within a month.
Ooh.
Like not just like that. It's like I just had like so much going on in the real world that like just walking in a vast land and just having to worry just about bringing a package to somebody. It was very relaxing, and I thought that was very awesome. Like that may have enhanced my experience a bit more. It allowed me to kind of just relax and think about things that I needed to think about, and I really appreciate that as an aspect. Like this game could be a very good therapeutic game for many people once they get into like the meat of the game, where it's just like you're walking, like you're
walking, and then you get surprised by the demon monsters and they try to kill you.
Nah, you know when they come. There's no surprise to it. There's so many aspects of the game to where like you can pretty much like get like blaze past it. Especially with the whole like, oh, you are playing with multiple other people on the same server and everything they do in their gameplay can affect your gameplay. So like I built a highway and now everybody can use that highway in my server. Like anyone who starts the game, like if you start the game and you're in my server, you will have that highway completely built, and that's awesome. That
so what you're telling me now is that you should let other people do the work for you and reap the benefits.
Pretty much, whoever is playing the game, like come Christmas, if like someone gets the game for Christmas or anything, they're very much going to have a very easy time compared to like someone like me who played day one, who like had to put the foundation down. I kind of think of it as like, you know, like a company or a country coming together or a civilization. Like you have to start from scratch, like, and then once the people before you do everything, of course it's going to be a lot easier. Like hell no, I would probably never live in the Middle Ages, but like somebody did, and because of that one person, because of the people who built that civilization, I am now here able to talk about a video game and like be fat and have my family pick me up Chick-fil-A right now. Like that is how easy
gamer privilege. That's gamer privilege. I am offended right now. Check your privilege, Peter.
Jesus Christ. That whole like procession of thought that like Peter just had is weirdly wholesome to me, and it makes me feel happy.
Yeah, like that's the one thing I like about it.
It's like it's so weirdly wholesome. Like, hey, like here's a bunch of stuff. Like we made it ourselves, and now everybody coming in is gonna have an easier time. But then also like it's a relaxing game that could be therapeutic to you. Like I don't know why. Like it's like it makes me weirdly emotional in a positive way. that like there are still games out there where you could just like sit around and just be happy. To me, like, this is gonna be a weird comparison to make, but like to me, it's kind of like Wii Sports in a way, where it's just
I don't know.
Yeah, Wii Sports was so nice. Wii Sports was like
exactly.
such a wholesome game. Like you and your family just come around and play together. Like,
well, that's
yeah,
it. That's
it's
That's if you have a normal family, Peter.
Wholesome party games.
Mario Party and Mario Kart ruin friendships, my friend. I don't want you to know what you're talking about, Chad.
Yeah, I'm saying, okay, that's Mario Party and freaking Mario Kart. Those games are for blood, okay? If you're playing those games, you are asking to get yourself just absolutely wrecked. I'm sorry. That being said, like, going back to what I was saying, like, I'm honestly really happy that Peter has that type of game where he can just sit back and be like, just happy for a couple hours. I'm happy for it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, it's I don't think Death Stranding is for everybody.
Well, yeah,
that's okay. Nothing should be for everybody, which is one of the reasons why like some of the things I love have like really shitty stuff. Like, that's why Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker sucks. That's why that's why like other things just like kind of like other things that flop suck, like Anthem. They are just pandering to everybody when they can just be for the specific audience.
I don't know. I don't even think Destiny players would try to pick that up.
No, I don't think Destiny players will pick up Death Stranding.
I've actually been playing Destiny.
No. I'm talking about like Destiny players transferring over to Anthem.
Was that who they were trying to
it's not
cater
gonna
to?
happen. Huh? I mean, yeah. Anthem was pretty much a clone of Destiny, but it was so buggy and broken that it didn't. It stumbled and like fell hard compared to Destiny, where like it stumbled, like
you know
and
how
got back up.
Yeah, but like now it's free. And I've actually.
You know how some stairs have that first couple of steps and the nice flat one, and before you go down on a couple more? That's like Anthem's journey. It had a small, easy period, and then just fell even more.
Ooh. Ow. I mean, like, I really wanted to get into Anthem. I really wanted to get into Anthem, but after I heard all, like, the crap going down with it, I was just like, okay, maybe not.
It sucks, but like it's whatever.
Have you guys seen the game that's coming out, Temtem?
Which one's that one? Is that the Puyo Puyo?
No. It's like, I guess a couple people online are thinking like it might actually legitimately rival Pokemon.
Oh, no, it's not. It's a Chinese knockoff.
I mean, like, it looks interesting enough.
No. Look, if anything, Digimon has a better chance of rivaling it.
Speaking of games coming out, what is our most anticipated games of 2020? Now that we've talked about the past, let's talk about the future.
Animal Crossing,
What
obviously.
are you guys most excited for?
Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Is that coming out, like, in 2020, actually?
Yes, it's coming out in 2020.
March. Coming out in March.
Really?
Yeah.
March is going to be a packed year.
March 3rd, 2020.
Right, the first quarter of 2020 is going to be extremely packed.
Yeah.
We have Doom Eternal. We have Animal Crossing.
Persona 5 Royale.
There's also Halo Infinite. Oh, isn't Cyberpunk? Cyberpunk is coming out, right?
Cyberpunk is coming out the first quarter. There are a lot of like A+ games coming out. Personally, I'm more excited for The Last of Us Part 2. I played The Last of Us just recently. And like as a game, I've always had the mentality that it's not really a game, it's a story. More so than Death Stranding. But like I had a lot of fun. Like I enjoyed it. Like I enjoyed being along for the ride, because I think one of the best I watched this guy called Lessons from the Screenplay. He made a video about Death Stranding, and the biggest difference between it being a movie and it being a video game is that I'm an active role. I'm a participant in the game, in the story. So like I'm not watching Joel, I am Joel. I'm not watching Ellie, I am Ellie. And that's really cool. And that's why I like it. And that's why I'm very excited for part 2, because I get to now completely be Ellie. And I get to explore this darker side of Ellie that was shortly present in the first game, but now is fully realized in this game because she's like a 21-year-old, her girlfriend is murdered, and now she wants to kill all the men that murdered her girlfriend. And that's a really powerful, I hope it's gonna be a very powerful story. I hope they do something.
I mean, like,
not
go
the
ahead.
top part one,
Damn.
not the top part one, but like to just do something. Like, I'm excited for it because they are a very talented team of writers. Naughty Dog has always made fantastic story games. There's Uncharted and of course The Last of Us,
and obviously Crash Bandicoot. What are you talking about?
Bandicoot.
There's also Marvel's Avengers coming out. Which,
Marvel's Avengers.
That looks like it's actually going to be good. Like, I know a lot of superhero games are just kind of.
Like, I don't know. I think like whatever
best.
Marvel game came out on the Switch did better than what the other one's gonna do.
There was a Marvel game on the Switch.
Yeah, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3.
Oh, was that?
That's like.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say like Marvel versus Capcom.
No. That's also a fun game. I like that. Marvel vs. Capcom is good fun.
Yeah, those are good fighting games. I can't believe we glossed over it, but like the most anticipated game ever, Cyberpunk 2077. That game is coming out in March in the middle of like school, and I'm fucked. Like, I'm completely fucked. I'm going to fail
say goodbye to your grades,
spring
buddy.
semester. Because like, as much as I'm really excited for Last of Us, like it's probably like my second anticipated game, maybe third, because there's another game that I'll get to, but like Cyberpunk is number one. Cyberpunk is going to be fucking amazing. It is. So
like, what's
GTA,
the premise of the game?
It's just you're fucking. So like, apparently, I guess you're supposed to like fight this gang.
So
and you have like you have Keanu Reeves in your head, and he's trying to help you through this shit.
Basically,
cool.
you are part of like the gang, I guess, and then you have to fight your way through certain things, hack different objects to like get what you need to like sell to other people. So basically, it is GTA, just like in like it said 2077. So it's probably gonna be open world, pretty decent acting. Yeah,
it's an open world game.
I'm not sure if there's gonna be like an online function though, like as like GTA's create a not like as in the create a character kind of thing, because I think it would just be way too much for what CD Projekt Red has been doing so far, because like they've been just doing the Witcher series.
CD Projekt Red does have a character creation thing. They're making it very, from what I've seen, it's not like extreme like some games, but it's pretty good.
That's what I'm saying. It's that you can't create a whole different character and play online as that character, like in like a world outside of the story.
I mean, CD Projekt Red has always been good at making single-player games. I mean, the Witcher franchise is one of the best franchises in video game history. It's up there with some of the greats, and like it's all solely single-player, which is awesome. And I personally love single-player more than multiplayer. So, like CD Projekt Red knows how to make a good single-player game, and if there is multiplayer functionality, yeah, it's going to be a different beast compared to single-player, but I have a good feeling that CD Projekt Red will do a pretty good job with creating a fun, open-world multiplayer game where it might not be as crazy as maybe it might be as crazy as GTA. We really don't know. We don't know a lot. I don't know a lot about the game. I'm trying to avoid as much like
spoilers.
Not spoilers, but like gameplay, like anything. Like I just hear word of mouth from.
Because you want to experience it for yourself.
Yeah, I want to genuinely like be like Neo in the Matrix and get jacked in. I want to get jacked in and live there for forever. I don't want to leave.
Listen, they got Keanu Reeves to be a part of this game. Like that immediately puts it up as like
you just remind me of the Flash.
Dude, they got Keanu Reeves. Okay, I don't think I need to say anything else.
You just remind me of the Flash Gets animation of like E3. That's just like that's a treat to watch. The
Oh my god.
Because like you literally is like Phil Spencer. What's up, gamers? I present to you Keanu Reeves. I like games. Games are fun.
Oh
and everyone just starts clapping. Then Nintendo comes in with Banjo and actual games.
Oh my god.
I'm very excited for Ghost of Tsushima. That game.
That's the one being published by Bethesda.
It is. Is it by Bethesda?
I think so. It's either Bethesda or Ubisoft. I forget. I'm pretty sure it's Bethesda.
I don't think it's either of them.
Is it EA? No, it can't be EA. I think it's Ubisoft.
I don't think it's any of them.
I'm pretty sure it's Ubisoft.
But I'm really excited for that one. Ghost of Tsushima, I have been excited for since they revealed it. It is Sucker Punch Productions.
Oh no, I'm thinking of the other one. Whatever the whatchamacallit her name.
You're thinking of that game with the Asian chick who everyone. No, yeah, Ghost of Tsushima, like it. So you may have seen a constant pattern with me. I love open world single player games because they are fun, they are immersive, they really get me involved. I love making my character as awesome as possible. And like this one seems really badass. Like you're versing Mongols, and like you're like one of the last samurais out there, and
you're Tom Cruise.
A bunch of Mongols.
What?
And it's no whitewashing, no Scarlett Johansson here. It looks like a lot of fun. Like I'm so excited for it.
What's the name of the game
When
again?
I saw it at E3, it's called Ghost of Tsushima.
Okay.
And I saw it at E3 like 2 years ago, and I was blown away. Even though the biggest meme of it is that dude playing like that flute.
Oh yeah,
the
people complaining about that was just absurd. Because you need to spend years playing that thing to actually produce a decent sound, and people were just like mocking him, like, "Oh, is he just a white guy playing a flute?" It's like, no, he spent like at least like 4 to 5 years. You learn the basics of that. Like, it's impressive.
It's whatever. If people want to make fun of it, more power to them. They have
it's a guy playing the flute. Like, what?
It's just funny, you know. It's kind of like the Ubisoft like Just Dance 2020 thing. Like, why is like a bunch of them why is the conference starting off with fucking dancing? Like, what the fuck? But it's like, no, that shit takes a long time to do.
Yeah.
But it's still hilarious because we, as like most people that play video games, do not give a shit about most of the stuff that happens at E3. Like some of that stuff, they only care about the games, and that's what people want to see. And like, yeah, so I have a huge list of games that I'm like anticipated for that I've already mentioned, like Animal Crossing. I think we should definitely do a Let's Play of that. We definitely all will. I'm excited for the Resident Evil 3 remake. I love the second one. I love the Resident Evil 2 remake. I was a big that launched me into playing the Resident Evil franchise. Like I have now played Resident Evil 4. I went back and played Resident Evils 5 and 6 with my friend on the Switch, and I might try Resident Evil 1. I don't know, just because I don't know if I want to.
Did they only ported it to the Switch, right?
Yeah, there's tons of ports for there's still tons of ports for like 5 and 6 on the PC. I just got on the Switch because like it was there.
Yeah,
I'm excited
for upscaling
Resident Evil
reasons,
3
on the Switch.
Resident Evil 3 remake just looks amazing. If either of you played RE2 remake, oh my god, it was fun. It was scary. Like my roommate would like leave the room because he would see me.
What a weakling!
He's like, dude, you're gonna scare the shit out of me. I know he was kind of a baby, but like
it's just a game. It's not real. Don't worry about it.
I found that really funny, and because of Dragon Ball FighterZ, I've become a huge fan of fighting games now. So I'm very excited for Guilty Gear, the new Guilty Gear coming out. That game looks very cool. The art style looks amazing. Like I look at it and I'm like, this is what I want. That isn't like I finally found a fighting game that I want to play that isn't like something I recognize. It's a game I don't like. I don't know the Guilty Gear franchise. I know a lot of people do, and it's very popular. But like for me, this would be like my first fighting game outside of like Dragon Ball, outside of Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter.
Out of Jump Force, what?
Marvel.
Oh my god! Yeah. I have that game and I kind of regret it.
Honestly,
Chad, you mentioned Halo Infinite.
Halo Infinite is
super excited for
Do we even know what's going on with that? Have they showed any like game?
It's a reboot apparently. It's a reboot of the entire franchise.
The only thing
I have a description here. It says the 6th installment of the Halo series sees the iconic Master Chief return to a central role, but this won't be a simple small improvement on previous entries. 343 Industries has developed the game using an entirely new engine called Slipspace, and it's likely to be one of the flagship launch games for Microsoft Series X or Xbox Series X.
So yeah, the tower. It's not gonna fit anywhere on your desk.
I think. Wait, it's gonna be like a mini ATX.
No, it's thinner than that.
Wait, how?
It's still gonna be. It's pretty much a PC. Like? It's pretty much a nice PC, and that's good.
Not even a nice PC. You can build a better PC for that price.
We don't know what the price is.
Actually. It's probably gonna be like $400 to $500 because that's what everything has been.
That's cheap compared to when the Xbox came out. The Xbox One came out. The Xbox One came out $100 more expensive than the PlayStation 4. But yeah. People are speculating that everything's gonna be expensive because of all the Chinese tariff stuff. But that's whatever. That is a whole other can of worms. Doom Eternal. I've been replaying Doom these couple of weeks, and it's a lot of fun. Animal Crossing, I already mentioned. We already mentioned Marvel's Avengers. I'm excited for it. I mean, it kind of looks like a Marvel's version of Destiny, but I might not get it first day. I might wait a little bit, see what people think about it.
What it's supposed to be.
I'm excited for it. But I still definitely want to see just give it a little bit, see what people think, if it's definitely worth it. Because here's the thing for me, Marvel as a whole has already been centralized as really a central cultural figure in a lot of American culture. And so if I look at these characters and I see that they're not I see that they are so drastically not what I have seen in the movies and read in the comics, it's definitely something that I'm gonna have to be wary of, and something I'm gonna be oh, it's not this. All right, then screw it. I don't deal with it. If it's not reflective of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the comics enough.
I don't think it is.
Really?
No, it's not. It's its own thing. It's its own thing.
It's a standalone thing.
Spider-Man PS4 was its own thing, and I thoroughly enjoyed that.
Well, I'm just looking at.
Well, that's handled by another different publisher, though. That's different.
Oh yeah, true. It's just I'm looking at
this is Square Enix we're talking about. Okay, we're talking about Square Enix here.
I'm looking at the Captain America model right now, and it does kind of look like Chris Evans.
Well, they kind of sort of have to at this point.
Well, yeah, because it's very hard to dissociate.
It looks nothing like them.
It looks a little bit like it.
They had to model some of the voice actors because apparently they couldn't get their rights to. Yeah, they couldn't get the rights to
lookalikes.
MCU. Yeah,
and that's fair. It's
really? Okay.
It's
they cost billions of dollars, and that's not worth it.
Yeah, I don't even know why.
I'm also excited because speaking of the Xbox Series X, there is a game that was announced alongside it, which is the sequel to Senua Hellblade Sacrifice. Hellblade Senua Sacrifice. That game was tons of fun. If you played it, no. I'm replaying it. I'm replaying it. It's a very fucked up game. It's about a woman who has to go through hell and back to save her husband. She carries around his head or whatever. And it's crazy. She's got mental illness, and throughout the game they recommend you wear a headset because you can hear voices. As you play the game, you just hear voices someone who's a schizophrenic, and it fucks you up. And it's really good. I am excited they're doing a sequel for it. I mean, for me personally, I am somebody who thinks if something's good that really feels like a one story.
They shouldn't have a sequel.
More. Yeah, they shouldn't have a sequel. But it's a video game. I think I'm gonna be happy with it. These guys, Ninja Theory did a really good job with Hellblade. I think they'll do an even better job with the sequel.
Didn't they do the remake of Devil May Cry?
Of what?
They did I remember they did the remake of Devil May Cry, Ninja Theory.
Oh, the
remake with the black-haired Dante.
Yeah. They changed, I guess. I didn't play that remake, but I thoroughly enjoyed Hellblade. I think if you're looking for a good game to buy, and like just get really immersed in, that's the game. Like it genuinely like will fuck you up. Like if you think hearing me being emotional and wholesome about Death Stranding will get you, dude, Senua's Sacrifice will definitely scar you. Like it is really good. And I may be hyping it up a little too much, but like it's really fun. It's a really good game, and I'm excited for the sequel. What about you guys? What do you got? I named a bunch of games coming out. We mentioned Animal Crossing. Are there any other games you guys were interested in that's coming out this year or in 2020?
I'll play through Persona 5 Royale and see how that goes. Otherwise, I'm just gonna wait because like I don't really necessarily like playing a lot of online games. I focus on the single player, just kind of like sit down, bang through a couple of levels, and then go get lunch and then come back to it later on. That's the way I kind of game. So like I don't play like long-lasting multiplayer games like Overwatch, blah blah blah, like CS:GO. So like I just like come back to whenever I want to. That's why I like Pokemon and stuff. Other than that, I'm really waiting to like what else comes out later in the year.
I mean, like I already kind of said it earlier. I'm definitely hyped for Final Fantasy VII Remake. Just because like when I was younger, I didn't get the chance to actually play Final Fantasy VII, and I only really got the chance to play what was it, the Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core on the PSP. And I really
that was like the prequel to like Final Fantasy VII.
Like, it was like the prequel, so like I kind of
it wasn't the same.
Well, like I kind of have a context for like what's going into like Final Fantasy VII, and like I really enjoyed it, Final Fantasy Crisis Core. So I'm really excited to like have the opportunity to have like the experience of Final Fantasy VII itself. So yeah, that's probably my top game for 2020 coming out. So yeah.
Cool. Yeah, 2020's like so far, I think the first two quarters are going to be very stacked. I'm excited to see more announcements for games come earlier in January and February. Hopefully they toss out some more games for the latter half of 2020. Of course, there's going to be a lot of titles announced during E3 for the launches of both the PS5 and the Xbox.
Well, that's it. That's if Sony decides to go to E3.
What, Davis?
That's if Sony ever decides to go to E3.
Well, they'll probably do like a press conference before or after E3, kind of stating the games they're gonna do, because I know they do that. Nintendo, let's see what other games Nintendo has to offer. Hopefully, they announce something for Bayonetta 3.
I don't know. I think isn't Platinum. Platinum already did Astro Chain, which is pretty decent. I like the voice acting and like the characters and the writing. But they said they're trying to do a new Okami with what's her face?
Well, they teased Persona 3 2 years ago, or Bayonetta 3 2 years ago. So, I mean, it's being developed. Whether it's the A team, the B team, or the C team, whoever the fuck's working on it, it's coming out. I don't know when, but apparently they are working on it.
Oh Lord, she coming.
I don't even know if they announced anything for that. Do they actually show off like a trailer or something?
They showed a teaser thing that like just said Bayonetta 3, and that was it, like being developed. Similar to what they did with Breath of the Wild and Metro Prime 4, which maybe they'll be releasing Metro Prime 4.
That's probably further down the line then, because they had to scrap.
That might either be 4 might be coming out either at the end of very late at the end of 2020, or maybe even early 2021.
I'd say 2021, because they recently scrapped the plans like mid-year this year.
Yeah, they scrapped it around like what, April or May, somewhere around there. So who knows? We shall see. Nintendo's staff is relatively good at making games for the long run, but they also are very conscious about.
Well, it's not. It's not like Nintendo staff. It's like the different studios that work with them.
That's what I mean. I mean, like, but Nintendo's like good with like allowing their teams to take their time as long as it's not like a blockbuster franchise, kind of like what they did with Pokemon and Zelda. Those games were, I wouldn't say rushed. Like Zelda definitely wasn't rushed, but like it had to be made for the time of the Switch.
Yeah.
Like they weren't gonna delay Zelda because they weren't gonna delay the Switch because Zelda wasn't up to snuff.
No.
Zelda needed to be ready for the development for the release of the Switch. So like,
Yeah.
so we'll see. We'll see what happens. There are definitely things that'll change. There's still Half-Life, Alex to come out.
Well, that's VR though, and I don't think anyone could really afford a VR set.
I mean, no one can afford a VR set, but it's still hype to know that a Half-Life game is coming out. There are plenty of games to be excited for. I'm really excited for them. Yeah, so thank you. We've been going for like an hour 15 or so.
Yeah, so I'll wrap it up now. Thank you everyone for listening to the podcast.